What's up, guys? If you don't know who I am, my name is Brilliance, and in this video, I'm about to show you step by step how to script a VSL for your info offer, coaching or consulting or B2B business for cold traffic specifically. And the reason I say cold traffic is because whatever works for cold traffic is going to work for warm traffic. Now, is it going to need a bit of optimization? Of course. Now, this same frameworks that I'm about to show you have helped us build funnels and VSLs that have driven well over $5 million in revenue for 40 different businesses. And the aim of this video is to give you this exact framework so that you can copy and paste them into your own business and be able to create a high performing VSL, a high converting VSL that is going to help you sell your coaching, your info offer, your consulting service, or your B2B business to cold traffic. Now, as you can see here, we have multiple of them on the screen, as you can probably see, and we're going to go over step by step. Every single one of them is interlinked, and I'm going to be breaking down each one step by step. The first thing that we have here is the hook. Now, your hook should cover what you do for them immediately. You should try as much as possible to start with you statements, how we do this for you, right? They don't care about you, they care about what you can do for them immediately. Cold traffic is cruel. They have no idea who you are. You just interrupted their day basically. And you need to jump right into what you can do for them immediately, instantaneously. This should be obviously relevant to their current situation or they're not going to stick around. Now, it could be an example of this could be, we're going to help you scale your business by installing our acquisition ready profit printing funnel system to convert cold traffic into paying customers. You see exactly how this frames it as an outcome for them. It mentions them, how their business is going to benefit from this, because they don't care about us. That's what you need to keep in mind when you're crafting the opening hook for your VSL. The next step here is going to be why they should listen to you. Remember how I started this video and I said, hey, we've done this for our clients and we've been able to generate $5 million over these VSLs and funnels. I'm trying to build authority and trust, and it's the exact same thing that you're trying to do with your VSL. So you need to build authority and trust, and there's multiple ways you can do this. You can run through, a ton of proof, or you can just list out multiple bullet points quickly of how many people you've been able to help, or just a short description of the people that you've been able to help and notable achievements that you and your team have been able to get for your clients and results. And people only buy from those who they can get results from. Think about a referral. The reason why a referral is so easy to close is because they have a fundamental understanding that you're going to be able to get the result for them. It's that simple. They're trusted. They trust you because someone referred them to you, correct? So you need to focus on tangible and offer focused results so that you keep the viewer, you keep them hooked and you keep them watching the video. So I don't like to use the word hook, whatever, but basically you keep them engaged, if that makes sense. For example, why should you listen to me? We've built and released over 50 plus funnels that have generated over $5 million in revenue. We've done X, Y, and Z. We've helped this person, this person, this person, and that's going to keep them watching the video because they need to, if they're going to sit down there and listen to you for about 10 minutes, listen to your value proposition and get you to sell them, they need to trust you before they can do that. They need to believe that you have some level of high authority. You have some higher authority than them in that particular skill set or field that they're trying to get help on. The next here is going to be the market insight and the problem framing. I always talk about a PMS framework, which is problem, mechanism of the false solution, and then the solution itself. You always need to go for problem before you present the solution. This way they understand and it's glaring what the problems are, and this is going to make them want to see what the solution to that problem is. So before someone buys, they must believe that their current way isn't working. So they have to believe, there's a better way, and this is how you create a transfer of belief, because you need to explain the hidden problem, the sabotaging the results, and you need to tie it to logical, easy to prove examples, like let's say news articles, trust articles, things that list, according to this site, 97% of people don't trust in websites anymore. Stuff like that is going to help people understand what the problem is. And because it's linked to something logical, they're more likely to believe it. And again, I'm not saying you should lie. You should obviously use trusted sites and trusted sources. But at the same time, you need this to make sure that it's a logical point you're making. You're not just, fear mongering, if that makes sense. So you need to show how other people are doing it without trashing your competitors. Competitors are the name of the game. So you just need to show how others are doing it wrong and how you can do it right and position yourself as a fresh and superior solution. For example, here's the reason why most funnels fail. And again, I'm giving you snippets from a VSL that I actually scripted for our own offer. So here's the reason why most funnels fail. Wrong targeting, wrong traffic, they lack research and a fundamental understanding of who they're trying to sell to, a lack of context in the ads. They don't explain the current situation of the prospects well enough, and the ads are rather vague, and they lack a good VSL, video sales letter, which is what we're trying to understand in this video, which is why you're watching it, right? Now, the next step here, which is linked, is the offer. You need to explain explicitly what you're offering or teaching, how it works, and what they get. So you need to be extremely clear. No one is going to buy from you if, there's doubt around what you're trying to sell, if there's ambiguity around what you're trying to sell. No one is going to buy from you, right? People want to buy from you when you're specific about the outcome that they're going to get. What are the things in the program that they're going to, benefit from? List out everything as well as you possibly can, right? Explain the deliverables. Here's what's included. Show the process. Here's how it works. Day 1, onboarding. Day 2, research. Day 2, this. X, Y, and Z. That's what you need to do to be able to build more trust with these people, because they understand now, number one, that you know your stuff, and number two, they can see all of the deliverables, all of the things that they're going to get once they start working with you. You're also going to describe the results and show them the transformation, because at the end of the day, I know this is cliche, but people really buy transformation, right? I've bought a lot of things where it's, transformation, whether that's saving me time or, getting me certain results. People buy transformation, and that's what you should focus on at the end. After you add in all of the logical points, you need to show them the transformation, show them the before and after sequence. It's very important. For example, we're going to build your funnel end-to-end, VSL scripting, your web design, your CRM build out, your emails, your ad scripts, and launch it all for you in 14 days. You don't need to hire a team or spend weeks figuring it out. You simply just fill out an onboarding form, and we'll ship out a high converting, profit printing, acquisition ready funnel to you in 14 days, in 14 to 21 days. The next point here is going to be your pricing. Now, people do not trust offers that hide the price. And this is contrary to popular belief. A lot of people think, hey, hide the price. But I've seen that when my offers have performed significantly better, my offers perform significantly better when I have the price stated in the VSL, right? Rather than trying to hide the price, you need to state your price and state it confidently, right? It signals that you're not desperate, and it's going to position your product as a premium product. And you're going to deliver the price immediately. No offer, whatever it is, if it's $3,500, $10,000, whatever the case might be, just say what the price is and be done with it. Tell them what the deliverables are. And, if you offer any payment plans or retainers, state it clearly and make it known to them, so that there's not any ambiguity around what the pricing is. Because usually when it gets to pricing of things, people usually get a bit, they get uncomfortable when they're talking about pricing. Like, for example, the total investment is going to be $3,500. We also offer a 2-pay payment plan if needed, and that's it really. The next step is going to be for you to reiterate your deliverables. Now, you need to anchor the price to tangible outcomes and reaffirm the clarity before the CTA. Again, before people make a commitment, before people make an investment, this is just human psychology, they need to know, what am I paying for? Again, like, sometimes it feels like it's memory loss, but it's not. It's just, they're thinking of it as a cost rather than an investment. So you need to reframe their mind. You need to make them understand, hey, these are the things that you're investing in. And this is not only, in the case of a VSL, you can also do this with your clients, right? If they ask for the price, you say, hey, before we even go to the price, this is what you get. You get this, you get all of this stuff, and this is the total price. It works incredibly well, at least for me, and I've seen work incredibly well for my friends as well. And that's what I recommend to you if you're scripting a VSL like this as well. For example, so here's what you get, blah 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 blah, XYZ. We move on to the next step. Now the next one is going to be your CTA. So you're going to tell the CTA is a call to action, as you probably already know, and you're going to tell the viewer exactly what to do and reinforce why they should take action now, because people need direction. If you leave them there, then they're just going to be motionless. It's like having a ball on the ground and not kicking it in motion. You need to basically kick them. You need to spur them into action. So a strong CTA is going to remove friction and it's going to reinforce your authority one last time. And again, don't do the CTAs where people are like, please book a call. No, do not do that. You need to position yourself. You need to frame yourself as the authority. They are not coming to you to give you free money. It's not free lunch. Like you need to make them understand that, hey, you're coming to me for help. So state your CTA, leave the video. That's it. You don't need to make a fuss about it. You don't need to make it too drawn out. Just make it direct. If your ideal customer profile and you want desired results, then take the action below. Be specific, book a call, click below. And also you need to add qualification as well, because unless you want to be a company that is serving any and everybody, which eventually you're going to run into people who are unqualified for your offer, you don't want to spend, the last thing you want to do is spend time on calls. People talk about, oh, I'm booking 100 calls a month, 200 calls a month, 1,000 calls a month. But then when you look at these calls, they're like very super unqualified people. So add qualification by, letting them know, hey, you're going to go through an application process. And if you feel like you're a good fit, then we're going to allow you to book a call. And that's really it. So that's how you state the application. You need to make this very, very clear. So for example, if you want us to build a high converting funnel that's ready for out in 14 days, click the link below and apply to book a free roadmap call. And now we're going to go into B2B audiences versus B2C audiences. And basically, this is a very small difference. But again, if you're scripting for B2B audience, it's very different from when you're scripting for a B2C audience, right? Because a B2B audience are people who have money to spend, right? People who are, more mature, more experienced, maybe even, a lot of them are usually business people, usually in the blue collar space or even white collar space, really. So affluent people, VSL is really about 10 minutes plus. We have a client who's running a 44-minute VSL and they're crushing. They're doing over $1 million a month. You need to be straight to the point, no over design. Don't try to use anything flashy. Use a deck if you can, create a Gamma doc and just put in the script there. Have everything just flow sequentially. It doesn't need to be crazy, and also be very conservative with the claims that you're making. Be direct, be calm. Affluent audiences, they appreciate that because it shows that you're professional and that you also appreciate them, watching the video and having you present to them and basically just trying to sell them what you offer. For B2B audiences, you can anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes. Really, when it comes to the length of VSLs, it's not about the length. It's really about the content that you've been able to cover in the VSL. If you feel like you've covered enough that your prospect needs to make a decision of, moving forward with you or not moving forward with you, then the VSL is done. You don't necessarily need to extend it to a particular, amount of time or a particular set of minutes in order for you to know it's a B2B or B2C VSL. No, you just need to make sure that you have sufficient information that is going to provide these people with enough insights and get them to the point where they can make a decision. So, for B2C audiences, more trust assets, show them testimonials, use scarcity, higher empathy, less authority. And this is what I talked about, like using emotional arguments. B2C audiences, the value emotional argument. So, stuff like you're still working a 9-to-5 job, you want to make money, but you're not making as much money as you should. A B2B audience, quite honestly, they're going to literally just turn off the VSL immediately because they're not in that mind frame. They're operating from a different level of frequency. So, slightly more believable hype. You can hype up some numbers, but don't overinflate the numbers to the point where it's not believable, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to promise someone in the B2C audience that they are going to make $1 million a month next month, they're going to skip the VSL. So you also need stronger visuals, polished design, because you want to keep them entertained as well. A lot of these people have goldfish attention spans, so you want to accommodate for that. You want to keep them entertained. And at the same time, you also want to educate them within the VSL and present your sales argument. It just helps you a lot more. So if you're someone who is a coach, consultant, you run a B2B business or you run an info offer, we've even worked with, at this point, we worked with someone in the military space as well. And you're looking at this and you've seen me lay out all the structures and you feel like you're seeing everything, but then it's a bit too complex for you to go implement yourself. If that sounds like you, click the link in the description, book a call with my team, and we'll see if and how we can help you. Take care. Bye-bye.